Perfect for recording.
Until late? Okay, cool.
Alright, ready?
Sweet. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so introduction, strike a pose.
Okay.
Another pose.
Alright,
Jump.
oh yeah.
Jump, a jump, a jump. Alright, we do that we do it one more time. Let's see what Sirius looks on you.
My journey as a black man in Australia. Look, to be honest, like, my dad raised me in such a way where he just allowed me to be me. He never put me in a category or forced me to put labels. So I didn't really walk through my life probably for the first 80% of my life as a black male. I never really associated myself with those labels. I was just me. And because I lived a relatively privileged life, I didn't encounter issues as a black man as well. And if I ever did, I didn't identify them. I didn't link them with the color of my skin. Good and bad thing. I see both. But I think it was once we went to South Africa in 2007, where we lived there for a year. Mum, Dad said we're jumping on the plane and we're going to South Africa for an entire year. That really fast-tracked my progress and my understanding of what it means to be a black man in this world. I understood that. And I was totally okay with that. Because at the end of the day, like I was proud to be South African. So I understood that, okay, of course, I'm a South African in Australia. Of course, I'm going to be a minority the same way an Australian would be a minority in South Africa. And I was okay with those challenges that came with it. And I guess when I was confronted with challenges and racism at times, I saw it objectively. I wasn't necessarily personally offended. But it was only later on in life, probably in my early to mid 20s, is when I started to realize, hang on a second, like, my extended family suffered from serious poverty because of a racist regime. That's wrong. I'm always my child self. Always. I think there's not a huge difference between 27-year-old Mushi and 8-year-old Mushi, fundamentally.
Talk to me about something that most people might not know about you. Something weird, but obviously not too controversial to share.
Weird, but not controversial.
Who's going first? Yeah. We'll start from there.
Well, no, I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything either. Okay. Like, what do you say weird? Like, what do you mean weird?
What's weird collectively? We are all vegan, and that's sort of weird.
Oh yeah, that's true.
People say
that's true. That's kind of unusual.
Which black person doesn't like chicken or meat?
Yeah.
And you were the first one to go vegan. How many years ago?
5 years ago almost. Because we're on
2015. Yeah, it's 5 years now.
No, you're vegan for longer, Ma.
No, 2015.
2015. We went 2016.
2015.
You 3 months before me.
I have a love-hate relationship with culture. When you talk about quirky culture, you talk about quirky culture in terms of like food around the world, like dance, that's clothing. That's amazing to see. You know, that brings a lot of happiness and bringing people together, and I appreciate that. And then you have good culture, like for example, probably in the last 10 years, probably less, like the acceptance of the LGBT group culturally. We're not there, we're very far, but that acceptance is a good culture in our society. And then an example of bad culture would be the gender-based violence that's going on in South Africa right now. And that comes from a culture of sexism, a culture of undermining women and
patriarchal ideas.
Yes, 100%. And that's bad culture. So yeah, my relationship with culture is...
When you do have parts of your culture that are a big part of your home life and you force leave them behind when you go into the outside world, that does chip away at your self-worth in sort of ways, because you have come up and you've learnt that they're a part of who you are. I think that being comfortable bringing those things to the table, bringing your whole self to the table, can be a really subtle way and a really even kind of small way of just like empowering yourself and loving yourself. You know, being like, yeah, like this is my hair, this is my skin, this is how I dress, this is the food I eat, and I'm comfortable to bring my whole self.
You go. Since you started the culture, you've conditioned the children. You're the reason why we are the way we are.
For me, culture is the way we've always done things, who we are, our identity. What is our culture? Somebody were to ask what's my culture, I would speak about the food I eat, the music. I mean, the values we have. Even take it down to family. What do we do as a family? What are our core beliefs? And I agree with you guys that culture does change. And going back to the Black lives, we've had a culture where blacks have been seen in a certain way, and that has become a culture. That's why some people say, I don't know what you're talking about. Where is the racism? What are you all about?
Becomes the normal.
But it's become
It's
the
just
norm.
been-
So
yeah.
culture can be so which means culture does change.
It should change.
And it should change.
Like the three of us, it used to be the four of us with our dad. With the three of us, we'll have discussions. We come with a conclusion. Whatever the best conclusion is, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Put the egos to the side,
Yeah.
no judgment, and we learned that from you.
Yeah, I think 100%. I think don't underestimate the what you've done there.
Because innately, I don't think I'm like that.
I don't think I am either. I don't think I would have been like that. Yeah, definitely. Probably more stubborn. I don't know.
100%.
But yeah, you just don't have any of that. No airs.
And that's helped us become whoever we want to be. Yeah, and being unapologetic about who we are. And that's, to be honest, I think that's the number one thing that's helped me achieve the little or the lot that I've achieved in life.
Yeah,
because of
I'd
that.
say so too.
Yeah. And dad helped a lot with shaping my ability not to care about anybody's thoughts.
Confidence.
Confidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mum and dad, to be honest,
Very consistent.
very consistent. No contradictions in their core values and beliefs.
Yeah.
And that's something I value so much, and me and
That's
Tembi have
true.
adopted.
Yeah, I think that's a really big one.
Tembi and I have been so privileged, and I keep going back to my mum and dad, and because they had such an important role in conditioning us to become who we are today. And on every level, when it came to leadership in the family, when it came to any decision that was made in the family, it was led with strength from my mum and from my dad. And to give you an example, like when my dad passed away a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I've never seen strength like I saw strength in my mum ever. Like I didn't even compare to it for a second. And I'm supposed to be the man of the house, you know what I mean, or whatever that means. And in my dad, I saw strength every single way. Like I looked up to my dad from when I was a kid and until the day he passed away, every single second. And so like they exhibited strength, and it was just easy for me to just mimic.
My dream is to see Africa united.
Yeah.
We are there. I think she said, and Tembi, that one Africa will make a difference. We'll be more powerful, and out of Africa, also a unity. That's what I'm hoping for. As we have more Africans in Australia and other parts of the world, that will be. It will be good, and just changing the way we see ourselves. So yeah, I think we have a good feel. The future is bright, but it's going to be slow because it takes a long time for people's attitudes to change. And when we see in South Africa, even though we have independence, but social issues, economic, political, they are still there. Racism is there. So it will happen, but it's maybe, I don't know if I'm pessimistic, but I think it's going to be slow. But we are starting. We'll get there.
The youth, the new generation, they're taking ownership over Africa, whether they're in Africa or they're around the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's my country, that's my home.
I'm so excited about Africa's future. So excited. Obviously, there are a lot of issues that we need to deal with in Africa, but I think as Africans, like, I'm excited because we're seeing music being exported all around the world. We're seeing movies, we're seeing shows, we're seeing clothing. Like, our culture's really been exported all around the world, and I'm seeing a rebranding of Africa, something that I've never ever seen before. And with the internet, it's really pushing that, and I'm so excited about that. And I think that's the beginning. That's the beginning of seeing more tourism into Africa. And there's a huge opportunity for Africans to capitalize on that. And I think from that we'll see economical change on the continent. And I think the African countries, we really need to look at uniting. And I think once we unite and connect our economies in such a way, I think we'll be a powerful force. And once we do that, I think we're unstoppable. I think Africa's gonna be unstoppable, and I'm super excited.